Bardock, GT, SSJ, Goku. Very balanced team. I actually think the shell combinations are all like pretty good. He's got Bardock SSJ, which we know is the Japanese shell. GT SSJ, which I think is a very good shell also. Bardock GT is a mixed bag, so Bardock GT, Bardock gets a lot from GT, but GT doesn't get that much from Bardock, as far as neutral of course. As far as like offense and stuff, they get stuff. And of course Bardock and SSJ both give the Spirit Bomb extension, which is what makes GT super scary. It's like the icing on the cake. So this team is very well balanced. There's not much you can do to weaken the team. Like, you could kill GT, but he still has Bardock Goku. You could kill SSJ, but he still has Bardock GT. You kill Bardock, but he has GT, SSJ. So this is it's a very well balanced team. He's not really freaking out when he loses characters. If anything, the main reason why he keeps characters is because he wants the whole screen control usually. He wants to keep the 2 assists, because with the 2 assists, he controls basically half the screen at all times, right? The whole ground and that 45-degree vector that GT covers. It's a very well balanced team, and it is certainly like a super strong team. So next I will talk about actually our boy Hook's team. Let's look at Hook Gang God's team. Hook Gang God usually plays. It depends. I'll play it in the order I've seen him playing it recently. So this is the Hook team, the current Hook team. The Bardock, Piccolo, SSJ, Vegeta. I kind of think he downplays this team. I think this team is a great team. I think it's a great team. The only issue, this is like heavily neutral based. So if the Kid Buu Bardock, like the let's say the next team, I'll say the next team I'm going to talk about is like super offense heavy. So this one's like super neutral heavy. So he dominates neutral. Not a lot of characters can beat this assist build, but his sacrifices, his offense is not as good. His offense is not as good. He's really counting on Bardock fuzzing tall characters and Piccolo mix. If you get rid of Piccolo or you get rid of Bardock, the team collapses. So this in my head is a 3-man team. Bardock Piccolo is pretty good. Piccolo Bardock is aight. Piccolo Vegeta is good, and Bardock Vegeta is really good. But the combination of characters, like, it really relies on all 3 characters. I think that's probably the main issue with it. But there's not that many things that beat the neutral that these 2 assists provide, which is part of the reason why he's so consistent in the game, in my opinion. So for one more team, we will look at the DTN winning team, which I forget the order. I actually think it's this. Kid Buu, again it's going to be Bardock and GT. Bardock GT. So this is like max offense, despite it looking like the neutral is actually good because against Kid Buu Bardock again. So my main thing with this team is it's super offense heavy, but the neutral is good too because it's got Kid Buu on point. Kid Buu's neutral is really good. Kid Buu plus GT is a really good combination. If you kill Kid Buu, there's still Bardock GT. So this team, rather than being like a 3-man team, it's kind of like front loaded. Because at the end of the game, who do you have left? If you have Kid Buu at the end of the game, that's fine. If you have Bardock at the end of the game, the threat level is lower than last year. He can still do it, but it's hard. If you have GT at the end of the game, you know, he has problems in neutral. He has to really earn his hits. So, like, late game, this team's not that great, but like early game, this team can run it. It's a very heavy offense. Striking neutral, lots of 50-50s. This team is very good too. Let's look at a couple shells. And for shells, I'm gonna try to pick a couple of like slightly more uncommon builds. So for example, this one. Cell Kid Buu, the good old 2018 shell. Cell Kid Buu. Cell Kid Buu is still so Cell on point. Of course he gets mixed, but that's pretty much the main benefit of Cell Kid Buu with that side. On the flip side, it's Kid Buu for 45-degree assist, which is really good. It lets Cell move. The main issue of Cell is he can't with move, so him and Kid Buu, he doesn't get that much as far as neutral, but the reverse, Kid Buu can run around and do stuff, and he's got the support from the air, and it's hard to hit that Celesis. This is like a pretty classic shell that I think is still pretty relevant right now. Another one I'd like that I think is pretty interesting is actually the Ajax Fidelity shell. This is the Puerto Rican player that's been showing up at tournaments recently, and he's been running the core shell of this team is this. It's Broly, Frieza, and it looks weird, but it makes a lot of sense. Broly is essentially a beam, and Frieza is an anti-air assist. And Frieza also is just like uncommon, like those type of blast anti-airs like Trunks and Frieza are kind of uncommon, so people are not really that used to playing against it. It's really, really strong. He gets mixed with Frieza, of course. Broly's assist is huge and slow. It's a really, really good build, and they both give each other stuff. Like, Frieza supports Broly pretty well, actually, and Broly, of course, supports any beam will support Frieza. So actually, despite it being kind of uncommon, it's a pretty good combination. Actually. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about this. If you want me to look at some other teams, maybe y'all's teams, I could probably pick a couple of good ones from the comments. I'm not sure what I said last week, but people were like, talk about my team, and they were like, I play 17 beers and hey, talk about my team. But jokes aside, I wouldn't mind as like one last video about team building before doing the official tier list video, my opinion about tiers for this game. So like I said, comment if you feel like it. If you have any last questions about this, let me know. This pretty much does it for this series. Pretty much. So I'll be moving on to something else. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I will see you next time.